Good morning. Ooh, it is so chilly this morning. I can't believe it. A week today, I was sitting in a back garden, boiling hot in the sun, having to be careful I didn't get burned. Boiling hot summer temperatures. Here I am a week later, looked at the weather this morning, 4 degrees, feels like with the wind chill 1 degree. Can you believe it? In a week. So I'm not acclimatised at all. I am a cold weather person, I have to admit, but oof, this is a bit too sudden. Anyway, here I am up at the allotment. I'm getting to the end of my tether with the pests this year. I've had terrible slug damage all year, and now the pigeons have started. This is the purple sprouting broccoli. It's been doing beautifully, got absolutely hammered by the slugs in the first half of the year. Once I took the netting off, I found a massive load of huge slugs hiding in the netting, and since then, since I got rid of that, the broccoli has really thrived. However, until yesterday when I came up and found the pigeons have obviously been perching on the top of them, I think. Pretty sure it'll be the pigeons. So also they're snapped off. The early forming broccoli heads have gone. I'm mad. There you go, that's been completely snapped off. That was much taller. And this one here, I'm not sure if you can make it out. All the ends are kind of snapped. And the cabbages. So yes, it's all a bit disheartening really. You spend all year growing things and every other animal gets them but you. So half of my cabbages have been, I don't know whether they're decimated, they might come back, but I've got my doubts. The broccoli's been really set back, and today I need to try and rig up some kind of netting. I know, I can hear you. I should have a brassica net on it already. I should have a brassica cage. Well, I just haven't. As I say, brassica netting is not my forte, or any kind of netting for that matter. I've struggled on and on, a few false starts, quite a lot of mistakes, and eventually I have managed to get the purple sprouting broccoli covered. Kenny showed up and gave me a little hand to get the cabbages covered. Some of the cabbages I also have covered. The turnips, the Swedes, the birds haven't been at those. And I've made a very bizarre little cage of wire netting for some of their cabbages. My neighbour's turned up and he says he has seen its magpies on the brassicas eating them, so I'm quite surprised about that. I wouldn't have thought magpies would have been interested, but there you go. Those mischievous magpies cause me headache after headache in this garden. My very kind allotment neighbour has just given me 2 fruit bushes, a loganberry and a tayberry, which I'm very happy about. He had them in the corner of his plot and they just weren't working there, so he's taken them out and he's donated them to his neighbour, thankfully. The only place I've got for these fruit bushes at the minute is this trough at the back. I just took my squash out of there a few weeks back. I was probably going to grow squash up there again next year, but never mind. This is why my garden's never organised, because things happen that you're not planning for. After giving it a little weed out, I've just put tayberry at one end and the loganberry at the other end, and I'm fingers crossed. It'll be quite nice because I'll be able to tie them up onto the fencing again, which will keep them a little bit tidy. I'm not quite sure how tall they grow or whether they're bushy, but they've got plenty of room either way, and they seem like quite mature plants, so fingers crossed I'm going to get a bit of fruit out of them next year. That would be a nice little bonus. Hi, it's another day. Today we're back trying to fill up the compost heaps. I've realised if I don't crack on and do something and get on with these compost heaps, I'm going to have no compost for the spring. So today it's a concerted effort to get that done. So the plan is to gather together lots of different types of material and layer them up like a lasagna on the compost to give it the best chance to break down the quickest. So far I've got some of these were basil plants that were finished and the hens have finished them off. I'm just going to tip the whole pots in. There's lots of roots in there that are good compostable, nutritious material for the compost. This horrible bucket here is full of food scraps, also mainly hen manure from the hen run. I've got a spent vegetable bucket there, and I've also got some more kitchen scraps. We're going to go onto the field now, gather up some grass clippings. There's a big pile at the council pile up there, and also see if we can get some leaves from the driveway of the allotment site. And then, as I say, we're going to layer them up and get ready for next spring. Well, we've got our raw materials gathered up together now, and the plan is, as I say, just to try and layer them into this compost bin to give them the best chance of composting down. It's all swollen up though with the rain. Right, off we go. I don't want to put too much of any one thing in a great stack like that, especially something like grass clippings that's very close compacted together. You need lots of oxygen to circulate in your compost heap to get it to work properly, to break down, and so you want to layer them so that the air can circulate. In with some leaves, and after that I'm going to put some of the chicken manure in. We've got plenty more chicken manure coming from the hen coop and from the hen room when we clear that out, so that would be good as well to go on. Next thing to go on is some nitrogen rich chicken manure and kitchen scraps. Thin layer of that. Now we're just going to pop those little pots on. They'll break down themselves quite happily on there. I always just put all the old hanging baskets and everything on. Maybe break them up a little bit if they're terribly dry or big. But all the root systems of those plants will add to your compost. And then after that I think we'll do some more grass, leaves, kitchen scraps, chicken manure. You get the idea. It's very simple. That's everything on that we brought up with this. It's still not really enough, it's not full, and the other one I would like to top up as well. Anyway, we haven't got enough stuff. The plan is in the next few days to maybe pop down to the beach and get a whole load of seaweed to put on. We did that last year and that worked well. It's heavy to carry the seaweed, that's the only issue.
but that's the plan. The issue is with my compost heaps, really they're not big enough to get hot enough. You want them to get hot enough to kill the weed seeds, but not so hot that it kills all the beneficial bacteria and fungi and what have you going on in there. My compost heaps are about, what, a metre by a metre square, maybe slightly bigger, and that's not really big enough to get hot enough. They do heat up when we pull them out to turn the steam a little bit, but just not enough. If I could combine these two, or I could have double the size, it would work better. But I do get a lot of weed seeds coming through in my compost. I finally got the rest of my onion sets from Marshall's. They were delayed in the post. It took quite a while to come. Anyway, I've got them now. Autumn Champion, the variety is. So I'm going to push these in next to the other ones that I put in a couple of weeks ago. And then we're going to have to figure out this net. Get it over them. Now, I wasn't going to put any garlic in this year. I've got all of this from this year's crop. I've still got garlic in the freezer from last year, so I don't think I really need any. However, you just never know, do you? So I happened to go down to Wilkinson's. I was trying to get more onion sets as it happened, and I thought I'd pick up some garlic. I really wanted elephant garlic, but again, same as last year, Wilkinson's is sold out of everything apart from red onions and shallots, which I didn't want. But then it occurred to us, I don't know why I didn't think, because I've always done this for years previously, is just get one of these garlics and divide it up, divide the cloves up and push them in. So I'm just picking, I mean, my garlic were pretty puny anyway. That's about the best. And then just divide them up into the separate cloves, push them in, same as you would plant any other bulb, like a tulip bulb or whatever, 2.5 times the depth. So I'm just going to do that with either 1 or 2 cloves in that same onion border, just to be sure. I wouldn't want to run out of garlic.
Because they are quite far over here.
One thing I do like about garlic is it's the garlic scapes, which are the shoots that come off the garlic, are one of the first things you get in the spring as a crop out of your garden. And it always seems so exciting when you get that first crop. As usual, we're completely struggling with netting. Me and Kenny would consider ourselves pretty practical people in the grand scheme of things, but for some reason, netting the vegetables, we just cannot get it. Every time it's a fiasco. Anyway, here we are. We've cobbled this together. Hopefully that'll keep the birds off. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye!